A group of New York sheriffs are suing the Hochul administration over a new law that bars them from entering into agreements with the federal government. For what? To help immigration enforcement. Welcome back to the States. I'm Greg Bishop. Now, New York law enforcement agencies face limits on cooperating with federal immigration crackdowns under a new New York state law that went into effect Tuesday, even as dueling lawsuits over the new rules play out in court. The Local Cops Local Crimes Act was signed by New York Governor Kathy Hochul in May, and it bans state and local law enforcement agencies from signing agreements with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement that allow cops to be deputized for immigration enforcement. It also restricts ICE's access to schools, churches, courthouses, and other so-called sensitive locations, and it bans federal agents from wearing masks during civil immigration operations. New York Governor Kathy Hochul laid out what the law means.
Local cops cannot be ordered to aid and abet an out-of-control agency with an $85 billion budget. Local cops can no longer be deputized to participate in disorderly raids that too often descend into chaos and violence. As I said at the top, local police will assist ICE only if a real crime has been committed. But on civil immigration matters, ICE is on their own.
Tuesday was the deadline set by the Hochul administration for local authorities to formally end those immigration agreements, and the governor warned that local law enforcement agencies must stop cooperating with ICE or face consequences. If local law enforcement agencies don't comply by the deadline yesterday, Hochul said they face legal action.
Let me be clear. Any police department or sheriff's office that disobeys this law, that maintains any agreement with ICE, will face legal action. And to those suing us, to those trying to block the implementation of this law, tried before and failed. Our law has been already upheld by courts. But if you're trying it again, I say bring it on. Courts have already spoken. But I'm confident we'll win again. In the meantime, we expect all agencies in the confines of the great state of New York to comply. Because if you want to enforce the law, the first thing you also have to do is follow the law.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security responded on social media saying, quote, "The message from Governor Kathy Hochul is clear. Criminal illegal aliens are welcome in New York." They went on to say that Hochul would rather shield illegal aliens than stand with law enforcement and protect law-abiding New Yorkers. Now, the new law, as Hochul mentioned, challenged in the courts by the Department of Justice, which recently did secure an injunction temporarily blocking a ban on ICE agents from wearing masks during immigration enforcement operations. New York has filed a countersuit to uphold the law. Neither case has been completed. Meanwhile, a separate lawsuit filed just this morning in federal courts by more than a dozen sheriffs alleges a provision in the newly enacted law is an illegal overreach by state government that interferes with contractual agreements between counties and the federal government. The sheriffs, who are being represented by the Federation of American Immigrant Reform, they said that the new restrictions, quote, nullifies the ability of independently elected constitutional officers to enter into contracts authorized by federal law. Fair's attorney, Matteo Ferrero, in a lawsuit, he went on to say that the new restrictions nullifies the ability of independently elected constitutional officers to enter into those contracts. The lawsuit seeking that temporary injunction to block the 287G agreement ban from being enforced, it was filed after Hochul issued that threat to take legal action against a handful of sheriffs who hadn't said that they would comply with the new rules. Hochul said the lawsuit is nothing but a frivolous waste of taxpayer dollars. And this week, Lakeisha James, the AG for New York, issued subpoenas to sheriff's offices and police departments demanding that they comply with the ban on ICE pacts. Curious what your thoughts are. Should local police be prevented from cooperating with ICE on civil detainers, or should they be allowed to work with ICE without any conditions? Be sure to leave your comments below and subscribe for more. We'll be right back with more here from the States.